Hello and welcome to another video. Today I thought I'd show off some unranked draft gameplay of me playing Rehgar on Battlefield Eternity. So the teams are, we have Jaina, Tyrande, Vala, Rehgar, Arthas. They have Greymane, Uther, ETC, Tester, Lunara. One of the reasons I want to show off this game is because I think with the upcoming mouth changes, I feel like most people are going to start moving away from mouth and more towards Rehgar and Uther. Here we're talking about mount synergy. We're looking at the pink Vala and the green Tyrande. And then we're talking about how I was just a dog. And so I barked in chat at them because I don't need a mount. So there's no mount synergy. So yeah, we insta lose because of the lack of mount synergy because I can't mount. So you notice I just checked to see who's down there real quick. Count them. See if there's 5 down there, and I can try to push in with some cheese, or if there's gonna be someone up here defending. There's only 4 down there. Tassar is up here as expected. He has gone the level 1 auto tech quest, which I think is the best talent at level 1. I go for the lightning shield talent. So it gives me and whoever I cast, when I cast it on someone else, I also get 1. It really helps with Immortal DPS, because you basically double the Lightning Shield DPS against Immortal. And you may have noticed there that I healed some minions. I'm a dick when it comes to solo lane support. I heal minions. I think it's a good way to push. Especially against a task star who can't clear with his auto attacks that well. Here he makes the mistakes of just letting me wail into him too hard when he's just trying to clear my totem. So I'm able to actually secure a kill against him. It's pretty solid. So I think with Mouth losing Cleanse, I think people are going to choose the Rehgar because he's got Cleanse, he still has pretty solid support. He has good DPS, he doesn't have the root, which is a big part of why I think Mouth was meta for so long. And I think he'll actually stay pretty solid because this kit is just well made to stay into HOTS meta. I think the other one is going to be Uther, which they have. Because he has Cleanse, because he's got the armor on stun, rooted, or silenced targets, which is going to be really strong with one more versatile Cleanse. I don't really care that they remove Mule from him. I don't want Mule gone from the game, but I think it's a really good fit for Abathur. Morales has it. I wouldn't mind just a hero that's kind of their thing, is they heal buildings. I think that'd be interesting. A cool specialist tactic. Someone who just focused on like healing, like one of their talents was just a mule, or maybe their passive was a mule. And that could help explain why they were getting rid of it. It'd be pretty strong on like Sky Temple, Warhead Junction. It's pretty solid on. But there's a kind of a lack of maps where Mule really takes that much priority, I'd say. Here I got kind of caught out. Not too badly, but a little bit. I was just healing myself. It just happened to bounce some minions there. General save the end. Here at level 4, I take Healing Totem. Basically, I like Healing Totem, especially on this map, because you spend so much time just standing in a circle around the objective. Then you can just kind of take everyone back up, and it doesn't cost mana. Healing people without costing mana, in and of itself, is pretty strong. Healing Totem is also really good talent against Malthael, if you haven't had a chance to go play against him on PTR. Malthael, his passive does 2.5% of your maximum health every second for 4 seconds. This heals for 2% of your maximum health for every second for 10 seconds. And so if you throw down a Healing Totem, you basically counteract a lot of Malthael damage. Just a little tip. Here I just box into him. He's making the mistake of trading. He should have pressed E and left. Or one of the things you can do is when you press E, just go into a bush. He could have gone right over here. I never would have checked that bush for him. I would have figured he went here, he made gate, even down. I would have checked down here. I would not have checked like this bush right here. He could have gotten in that bush, probably backed. Or even mounted up and then gone over here to this bush to back. You know, no one really is going to walk that far back to that bush to check and give up the XP and the lane pressure. We do clear the Immortal bottom during this time, just getting XP. I just kind of pressure him by attacking him. It's a good way to kind of pressure Tess out of lane. He's got slower wave clear with his W, and so if you can wave clear and pressure him a little bit, so like Zagara, Rehgar, even Azul could probably do it pretty efficiently because of how much lane pressure Azul can put on a Tess. And Tess can't exactly kill people all that easily without like Archon or without just sitting on attacking them for a long time. But like Rehgar can self-heal, and I have healing to him, and so he's not doing that much damage to me at all. I think Rehgar is kind of overlooked a lot as a solo laner, just because he's really non-traditional, and you're supporting as well from a single person lane with a multi-person heal. I do pick up Cleanse here at 7. They have an ETC, an Uther, Lunara slows, Tessera slows. I'm expecting an Archon, so that's AoE slows that I might have to watch out for. They're going to have a lot of things to Cleanse. I will move Cleanse from the 2 key to the 1 key. I don't know why I have a hard time using Cleanse if it's anywhere else. I can use every other ability. Ice Block, key on any key, anything else can be on any key. I just can't use Cleanse unless it's on the 1 key. Don't know why. We do ahead and take the Bruiser Camp. We were a little slow rotating to it, but we still got it pretty decently. We're doing a pretty heavy defense right now, and part of that I should have zoomed out farther earlier. My bad. But one of the reasons we're so heavily defense is because the DPS race is so close, and they have Lunara and a Grey main. We basically have Vala as our main source of DPS. Rehgar's got pretty good DPS into it. Jaina's got okay DPS when her cooldowns are down. I had Q up. I should have healed the Arthurs there. That wasn't misplayed by me. I'll be honest. I do this really awkward thing where I decide to just go around them and just see what I can do to them more. And so I go on it and do some. I mean, they can see that I'm here, and they have a Tassadar who can give them vision. I should die here. In all honesty, I should be dead here, right? They have an Uther, they have Tassadar. If ETC had finished rotating on him while he was mounted, he could have easily power slid into me, stun me, and then W'd me back. Instead, I get out, and that means I'll be back a lot faster than if I had died, and I also don't give them the XP there. Kind of poking and trying to force them out as best we can, as often as we can. Meanwhile, the Bruiser Camp we got is actually going ahead and getting a lot of work done up here because they didn't respond to it sooner. I guess they thought they were going to be able to burst it or that we'd raise them, but because of the defense there, we were able to get a lot more out of that camp. In fact, we get the entire fort, and that gives us 10. A level, and basically just a level before them. I do miss Ancestral there. I take Ancestral. I think Ancestral is generally better than Bloodlust, unless you have a full ranged AA comp that needs all that attack speed and lifesteal. I don't think that, I just zoomed back in. Can I really not? Oh. So make me zoomed out while also following my character around. I did Cleanse there, probably preemptively, but just trying to get him in. Ancestral really preemptively to avoid what just happened with that Vala. But I think Ancestral, the big heal on one target, is better than a general Bloodlust, unless you have specifically ranged DPS or your team specifically requests it. You know, a Butcher might be able to make use of it, or an Illidan, but I feel like generally Ancestral and one of those is better. If they're alive, they can do DPS, and both of those have ways of healing themselves up. Now we have Tyrande Vala up here, using Tyrande passive with Vala auto attacks to do DPS. Once we start getting heavy, go ahead and finish rotating up as a team. I go back to the top lane, just to keep getting us ahead on XP as much as we can. One of the best things you can do is just always just steamroll XP. When you're ahead, keep ahead. It makes it harder for them to catch back up. So I back to finish up tapping off mana health. I don't want to step that far out. If I'm way out here, it's pretty easy for them to rotate out and just pick me off. And that was a pretty good ring. Finish off the Uther. Let him get a lot of damage onto the ETC. Ghost Uther heals a lot, so it gives armor. Jaina's super low, should be careful. I mean, one really good cocktail from Greymane could finish her off there. I don't think she was in vision. I don't think they knew she was back there. Meanwhile, I'm up here again, boxing Tassadar. He was force wall, missed forces wall there. I think I had the totem on him still. He wasn't counting through, so I definitely overextend here. You know, I got really cocky having solo win that test twice. Dodge the bullet, dodge the vine, both of which would have probably resulted in me dying. Bullet would have chunked me down. It's probably about 30 to 40% health. Vine would have meant she could have pressed W, slowed me by a bunch, which meant ETC probably would have caught me, or Uther. And then I was really screwed once I got stuns because you can't cleanse yourself. I really wish they would allow supports to cleanse themselves. I understand it would be probably selfishly used, especially at lower levels, but I feel like higher levels people understand. I got cleanse off on Sharonda there. She's still in Mosh, but they didn't really focus her. Able to get the Ancestral off because of it. We get the Divine Shield off, we kill Cass. Keep him up for a little bit longer, enough for us to trade out the Greymane for him, so we go 2 for 1. At 13, I do pick up Tidal Waves. I used to be a big fan of Earth Living Enchant. Basically, if they couldn't burst you once you hit 50%, then Rehgar could keep you taking around 50, if not above 50, pretty steadily with the tick heal and then his base heal. That being said, this cooldown on Tidal Waves, the 1 second per hero, which is about 3 seconds every time you heal in a group, excuse me, is pretty strong. It's a third of your cooldown basically every time you heal, so long as you're using it to also heal your team. We get in position a lot faster here, so we're able to go in and race them because they're busy clearing out the camp, so we don't get value again from them. And at this point, Q build Vala plus Sharonda passive plus whatever other DPS we throw at it just burns the Immortal super fast. And at this point, you probably could just straight up race them for the rest of the game and win. You never know. I mean, it's really hard to compete with the Sharonda, Vala. Rehgar has really good. Jaina is doing bunches of damage with Blizzard at this point. Ring of Frost gets us the Greymane. Burns the cleanse also. Really important to keeping track of things like that. With them having no cleanse, it means an Arthur is a really solid setup into a kill. It also means they can't cleanse like Cinegrosis low. Rain of Vengeance. We can chain CC pretty heavily here, and without cleanse, we don't commit to that because of the tower range. And we don't want to overcommit. We have a basically 200% health Immortal with the full shield, full heal health bar. It's pretty easy stun. Sleepy did a good job there, being just outside of range, so we can stun that instantly. We keep going. At this point, they're down their tank. It was hard for them to move into us. We get double healer. I'm super low because when I was hitting the keep there, I was taking a lot of damage from them through the keep. So between me and Toronto, we can heal me back up. At this point, it's pretty clear it's going to be game soon. If not this Immortal, probably the next one. If we get it, at least. So I commit pretty heavily to killing the TAS. Ran out of mana. Rehgar is pretty good at running out of mana if you're not careful. So I wasn't able to heal myself, which I probably did anyways, but maybe I could have killed them if I had it. Do take the slow, Earth Threats Totem. At 16, it makes this home basically a root at the beginning. And at this point it's GG, because we did kill both their DPS, and it was about half health, and their core was about half. hopefully this video was entertaining in some regards. I'll pull up the stat screen, I guess. I went 4, 6, and 1. Most siege. Got MVP. Best healing in game, and which is pretty impressive for having solo lane. Here's what everyone else got too. Might as well show that off. I can't move this box. Killing Spree and Jaina. We got most of it. 4 clutch heals on Uther. That's pretty good. 40. Most XP as well from the solo lane. If you're solo laning, you should end the game with the most XP unless they're getting tons of kills somewhere else. This wasn't the case. In fact, we had less kills than they did, but the kills we had were more efficient. This is kind of a really good example, actually, of the fact that kills in HOTS don't really matter all that much unless you make use of them. Our kills, a lot of them, that were there at the end when we were pushing in with that final Immortal against the Keep, and then against the Core, they were down a tank at one point, which means they couldn't engage into us. They didn't have the CC for it. They didn't have the tankiness to absorb a lot of our damage. And then you have, when we did basically have to retreat out, the Immortal was already on Core for 50%, but they were down both their DPS, so they couldn't kill it in time before it killed Core. And it just, like, that's kind of how you have to look at things. Like, the fact that it's 18-15 didn't mean we played bad or mean we had this massive comeback. It just means that when we got kills, we made better use of them. You know, those 2 task kills at the beginning, all they really did was get us ahead in XP, which was enough to get us 10 first, which meant they had to give us an Immortal, and that kind of let us steamroll a little bit. But kills, you need to make sure you push the advantage that you have. If you don't, you're just going to give them a chance to use all those comeback mechanics if they are behind. Hopefully you found this helpful in some regard, and I will see you next time.